The main thing that we're concerned about this year, one of the big ones, is the walking working surfaces rule and fall protection. It was effective in 2017, but manufacturers are just kind of now getting used to it. There's a lot of fixed ladder requirements that are new to the industry, ladder inspections, fall protection, and so they're figuring out how to comply with that. And there's a long compliance period for how they're going to do the fall protection on the ladders. And so that's one thing. OSHA took comments in 2019 on the lockout tagout hazardous energy standard, and so they're going to update that. It's been a long time since they've updated that. They're going to bring in some language on robotic controls, different circuitry that wasn't part of the standard way back early on. They also took comments on the industrial lift truck standard, and so they're going to update that one. And so there'll be, so we sent some comments as well on that. So we're going to be watching those really closely when they send out some proposed rulemaking, and then we'll make our members aware and we'll respond appropriately to those. So FSMA inspections, the first and foremost thing is to make sure your documentation's in place as required by the rule, which would be your food safety plan, includes your hazard analysis and any kind of records that are required. If you've got preventive controls in your food safety plan, you'll need to have that in place. So make sure you've got all that built and in place. That should be the first thing the investigator asks for. Let me see your food safety plan. Second thing I would say is make sure your staff is well trained and aware of the rules. The best way to do that is send them to what we call the PCQI training, or the Preventive Controls for Animal Food course. They learn get a really good education about what the rules require and how to comply. And so make sure at least 1 or 2 or 3 of your employees have gone to that. Knowledge of the rule is the best preparation for an inspection. And so those would be 2 important things to think about. And then just make sure you've got good company policies in place to help that plant manager or those folks with the boots on the ground in the facility to know what they can and cannot say, what they can and cannot show. There's a lot of questions when an investigator shows up on site. So that facility manager needs to have some guidelines and training on your company policies. So I mentioned before, PCQI training, or the Preventive Controls for Animal Food course, is a good course that you want to send your folks to. We'll be doing one of those again this summer in the Nashville area. We've done that for the last 5 or 6 years, and it goes over really well. In June, we'll have our Feed Industry Institute program, and it's a really good program for anybody new to the industry. It's kind of all things feed, so they'll learn about all the different things that we do throughout the industry, purchasing and manufacturing. We talk about the agencies, and so anybody new to the industry, it's a good place to send them. We've got 3 more offerings of AFIA 500 this year, and so that if you've got supervisory folks in the plant, that's a great course for them to go to. It sells out really quick, so you want to watch our news releases and get your employees signed up for that. So 3 more times to do that this year. And one exciting thing we're doing is we're taking all that content, that really good content in that AFIA 500 course, and we're going to break that up into individual modules that we can do on demand. So you may have some production floor folks, some hourly workforce folks that they just want to know about pelleting, or they want to know about mixing or loadout or quality programs, and even one of those will be an introductory or an information about the industry as well. So we hire a lot of folks from outside the feed industry to work in our plants, and so we want them to know about the industry. And so that'll be a good way that they can take a quick on-demand course and on a very specific subject, and it's a couple of hours and a quiz or 2, and they'll get a certificate, and they'll know a whole lot more about what they do than they did before.